Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Norman, and it's 7 a.m. in Texas. You see, the pictures are missing. I was not able to put them back up myself, but my son that put them up for me the first time is coming today to put them all back in place. Some have asked about that big painting, and I really can't pick it up. It's too big and too heavy. It's 24 by 30 inches, and it has a pretty nice gold frame around it. But I'll show you something. You see this? You see this picture? It was on a calendar. I saw a calendar one time that had old master or uh, French Impressionist paintings uh, portrayed on that calendar, and that was I cut that out of the calendar, and I looked at that picture to paint the big one, and the big one is about approximately the size of the original painting by Camille Pissarro in 1898, and so I thought I'd show you I looked at that to paint the big picture. And back in around 1990, I did that in 92. And in about 1990 or 1991, I saw a program about artists that were copying French Impressionist paintings and selling them for as much as $60,000. And I said, my goodness, I can copy anything. So I started copying those paintings. I did 5 of them. I did a Monet, and I did another Pissarro, and I did, um, I can't remember the other two, but anyway, others. But anyway, that's what I did. I copied those, but of course, they never sold. And I think the reason for that is that uh, the people that were selling those copies for that much money went to the museums where they hung and copied them from life, from the real painting. And mine are just from photographic reproductions. And you do not get all the brush strokes and stuff that you would see if you saw it live. So I thought I'd show you that. Anyway, some of you have mentioned my good health, and I thought I would tell you a little bit about what has happened. In 2007, uh, I retired at the age of 78 and moved to a West Texas city where my daughter lived and one of my sons, so they could kind of take care of my wife and I. We moved out there, and I was diagnosed. I had to have a primary care doctor to have Medicaid, Medicare, and that doctor said he thought I had Parkinson's disease, and he sent me to a neurologist, and he agreed. He said, "You have Parkinson's disease. It's an it's atypical. It's non-shaking." But and he did no tests at all. He just observed the way I walked and made his judgment from that. And so from 2007 to 2014, I was bombarded with powerful pills to fight the Parkinson's. And I took many pills for 7 years. And in 2014, I was hospitalized, screaming hallucinations that I was having. And I almost died in the hospital in that December and early January. But when I got out, I was in rehab for about a month, and then I went to live with my daughter, and she kept me for a while. But while I lived with her, I was under hospice care. Nobody thought I would live but a few days. I was in such bad shape. And my daughter got to the point where she was having problems taking care of me and sent me down to live with my youngest son in his apartment, so he could take care of me in my final days. And of course, when I got to Dallas, the Dallas area, hospice wouldn't take me until I'd seen a doctor in the Dallas area. And I went to one, and she said, "You don't have Parkinson's. You've never had it." She sent me to a neurologist who agreed with her, and they began to wean those pills off of me. They were too powerful, and I couldn't stop dead cold. I had to be weaned slowly off of those 19. And it took about a year or so, and then it took a little bit longer to get the rest of it out of my system. But with every reduction, my health improved until I was taking just 2 prescriptions. One was a sleeping pill, and the other was a mild painkiller. Back in 2000, I had what I thought was a toothache, some kind of a neuralgia pain up there, and I took that pill to relieve that pain, and it did. And after I was down to those 2 pills, I tried to stop that one. But when I did, in about a week, that pain began to come back. So I still take those 2 prescriptions, a sleeping pill and that painkiller. And other than that, I take a few vitamins, of course, but I don't take any other prescriptions. And a couple of weeks ago, I had a physical, and my doctor said that after the physical that I had nothing wrong with me. And my blood work came back normal, all of it. And so I feel very good. I'm only old on the outside. Inside, I'm not. But I have no aches and no pain at all in my body. And I do have to have a walker because that's what made me retire at the age of 78. I got to where I couldn't walk and needed a cane. And then I graduated to a walker. Legs are weak and wobbly. But other than that, I'm in excellent health and feel great every day. And I don't want to scare anybody, but I could be around a while. My great-grandmother lived to be 94. My grandfather lived to be 94. My mother lived to be 94. And my mother's younger daughter lived to be 102. And her older sister lived to within 2 weeks of being 108. So I might be around a while. But I thought that was a story I probably ought to share with you. And then there's one other thing I wanted to do today. In 1951, Nat King Cole came out with a song that was written that same year. And when my wife and I heard that song, we adopted that as our song because it pretty much told our story. You know, we married very young, and everybody said we were too young to marry, didn't know what we were doing, and it would not last. But we were determined that we would make it last, both of us. We were determined we were going to make ours last. Well, this is the little song that he wrote that became what we called our song. They tried to tell us we're too young to really be in love. They say that love's a word we've only heard, but can't begin to know the meaning of. And yet we're not too young to know this love will last though years may go. And then someday they may recall we were not too young at all. The song was called Too Young. Thank you if you're listening or watching today. I do appreciate it very much. Until next time, this is Richard Norman saying goodbye.